Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to talk about emails. So you should be suspicious about every email you receive from every source. It's perfectly possible that a scammer could be pretending to be your friend, your bank, your utility company, and it's just a means of trying to get information out of you. So you should naturally be suspicious of all emails you receive. However, what I'm going to talk about today is two particular types of email that you should be especially worried about. So I'm going to start off by saying that on the Web Safety Guru courses, I have a email masterclass which is specifically designed to train you how to spot and identify scam emails. There are lots of telltale signs that you can see coming up over and over again for an email that doesn't come from who it appears to. What I'm going to talk about in this video is attachments. So attachments are the additional things that come in an email apart from the text actually in the body of the email. These things could include images, they can include Word documents, text documents, and all sorts of other files. Two in particular are dangerous, and that's what I would like to address today. The first of these are executables and scripts. If your Windows is set to have the file extension switched on, and I'd recommend you do this, then you can recognise an executable by the suffix .exe. You can recognise a script by the suffix .js, and that stands for JavaScript. So these two particular kinds of file, they basically just run things. An executable executes, and JavaScript is a script that runs, it could literally be pretty much anything. Executables can install something on your computer. They can install a virus that replicates itself. It could wipe your hard drive. It's actually quite scary, the amount of things that an executable or script. Now, if you're a skilled programmer and you look at the code in the .js file, say, you could work out what it's doing. But bear in mind, if you just install and run something in your computer, you're running it before you've checked what it does. It might say it's going to do something benevolent, but by the time it's done it, you've discovered it's done something horrific to your computer. So you have to be especially careful what an executable or a piece of script is actually doing. This is even more important when you don't know who it's come from. And even if you do know where it's originated from, it's best to check with that person what it's supposed to be doing, because it's quite likely they might have had an infection and it's been emailed from them to you. So yeah, basically do not trust these things unless you're absolutely certain where they've come from and what they're doing. Now, the second kind of attachment you should beware is the zipped file. So a zipped file is a compressed file. So one way of putting it, if you imagine, you're made up of atoms, if you took all the space between the atoms out of you and compressed you into a very small area and then moved you around, it would be much easier to move you around and you could be moved around faster. Now, this is basically what's happening with computer files. They're being shrunk so that they can be moved around more quickly and use up less memory on servers. So you shrink it, you transfer it, and then you unshrink it again. This is all very well, but the problem with compressed files is that they bypass your antivirus protection. It's likely that your email client will have some sort of antivirus protection, but it can't stop compressed files. It will only recognise the virus once you've uncompressed it, by which point it could be too late. So the moral of that story is you have to also be suspicious of anything that's come in a compressed file. It might be for perfectly legitimate reasons, like it was just too big. However, it's quite possible that a cyber criminal has sent you a compressed file with the intention of infecting you. You should be especially suspicious if you're expecting a picture or a Word document and it's come with an extension .exe, because that means it's actually something that's going to be running, which means it isn't a picture or a Word document. In conclusion, your suspicions should always be raised when you receive an email anyway. You should be very careful to make sure it's come from who it is supposed to have come from. and you should be especially cautious about attachments of all sorts. But this caution needs to be doubled when you're looking at files such as executables, scripts, and compressed files. Don't have nightmares about this, but do be especially careful with these two particular kinds of file. Make sure you subscribe and you'll receive a notification when there's a new video on the channel. Please like and share this video, it helps spread the word. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. And until next time, stay safe online.